highlights. Let's just run through a little bit of the British team's results.
Well, what a games it was, with Australia winning the medal table on top, Great Britain in second, Spain in third. 131 medals in all going Britain's way, 41 of those gold, and it was Tanni Grey who headed the list, 4 individual gold medals. She was to carry the flag in the closing ceremony, but let's not forget the likes of David Roberts, who took 3 medals in the pool, Lee Pearson, 3 golds in the equestrian, and Lloyd Upstell, 3 fantastic golds and 2 world records on the track. It really was an outstanding games, improving on Atlanta's performance, and no doubt they'll do even better in Atlanta in 4 years' time. Let's hope we see a lot more of their performances before then.
Well, it'll certainly be difficult to equal Sydney. Just as the Olympics, the Paralympics exceeded all expectations. Sellout crowds for so many events. It was a majestic spectacle, as we saw with Anchino Carrera. The memory will live long with us all. For me, Carlton Kirby, and Patrick Winterton, it's bye-bye.
Martial arts next here on Eurosport. It's the World Karate Championships from the Olympic Hall in Munich in southern Germany. This is Richard Vaughan. With me is Paul Alderson, world openweight champion back in 1996. That was in Sun City in South Africa. I'm very much looking forward to what we have here from the Olympic Hall in Munich. All the big bouts coming up for you, plus what they describe as kata in karate, and you'll see exactly what that is in just a moment, because this is Atsuko Wakai of Japan, and she is better than anybody else in the world at the kata at this moment. Welcome, Paul. Let's just talk a little bit about kata, because when we think about karate, we think about the Karate Kid and all sorts of wild action going on. This is something a bit different.
Yeah, hi, Richard. The kata is a sequence of movements, karate movements, defensive and attacking techniques against an imaginary opponent. So you'll see now Wakai will go through her kata, her World Championship kata, with speed, with power and complete precision.
This originated in Okinawa, one of the islands off the main Japanese mainland, many, many centuries ago.
That's correct.
That is the sport of karate, the martial art. But the Okinawa people have developed kata more than the people on the Japanese mainland have. So they've gone away from some of the kind of bigger, more expansive moves and concentrated on this particular element of the sport.
That's correct, Richard. This is the more traditional side to the World Championship Karate, which we're seeing now. Coming up later, we'll see the fighting, but this is steeped in tradition.
The method that Wakai uses, by the way, there are lots of different styles of kata. This particular one, under the umbrella of Nahate kata, and more specifically, it's the Supra MP, or
Supra MP.
Yeah, which translated means 108. Now, 108
right.
What exactly? I'm not sure. 108 different movements, I suspect.
Mm-hmm. She's low to the ground. She's very powerful.
Lots of people who aren't familiar with the detail of martial arts wonder about the differences between karate and jiu-jitsu and taekwondo and all the rest of them. I mean, how would you define karate as being different?
Karate is different because it's primarily blocking and striking, whereas a lot of other martial arts have got specifics to them. But specific karate is blocking and striking, really. So it's more of a striking martial art than most others.
And certainly the blocking movements are demonstrated here in the kata.
This is excellent to see the blocking movements rather than the fighting, which we'll see later.
Wakai from Japan, but this sport, this martial art now, of course, very big in Europe and in Britain.
Britain has dominated from the late 70s right through to the late 80s. But yeah, it's very much a European sport now, really. I think as we see going through later on, you'll see a lot of European contenders for the World Championships.
When you fought in 1996...
That's correct, in Sun City.
Did you have to overcome a lot of the Oriental guys, or was it mainly Europeans you were fighting there?
No, in the 6 fights I had, I actually fought the Japanese guy, which was the world champion at that time. I fought him in the 2nd round, and then competed against a Spaniard, Olivares, in the final, and eventually won.
You seem to be pretty fit as a result of it all. I mean, I know that karate can be violent, but the idea is to have a lot of self-control as well.
It's the most important thing, Richard. Control in karate, especially competition karate, is what the referees are looking for at all times.
So you don't have any injuries as a result of your labours in karate over the years?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
So we've seen Wakai take the women's title in Kata. Now, this is a man who's absolutely revered in France, Michel Millon. There's nobody better than this man at the Kata, and here he is demonstrating just that, taking the World Championship.
Millon now is going to do Ansu, very popular kata at the World Championships. Again, very powerful, very fast, as we'll see right here.
Extraordinary. How many hours a week would he put in to get this kind of level of performance?
He, in the kata, is absolute perfection, Richard. So he's looking at 2 to 3 sessions per day, I would suggest.
And to get the movements absolutely perfect like this, is he working with a mirror or a coach or what?
Both. He'll be working with a coach and a mirror. So some sessions will be in a mirror on his own, and others will be completely looked at in specifics with a coach. He'll be looking at every detail, just like the referees are now. There's his jump, absolutely perfect.
Having said all that, how would this guy get on against somebody like you in a karate bout?
That's a hard one. He's a very powerful guy against perhaps my speed and agility. I don't know, so it's a tough one to call. But
the two don't necessarily match.
No, the two won't come in. So you do get some kata exponents do go across into the kumite, which is the fighting, and do very well because of their speed and power. But Millon himself doesn't actually compete at kumite.
Sort of wonderful mixture of athleticism, control, speed, and choreography. And see the concentration in the eyes.
Yeah. He's completely focused.
That's something you notice about men and women when they're fighting as well. There seems to be this extraordinary kind of blocking out of the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.